Yeah, Bang Bang Rail. My father-in-law made me laugh, you know. He was a good worker, my father-in-law, mate. Mickey Johnson was the business. And what they used to, my father used to do cranes, work on cranes, not work on, but he had a big crane company. And he used to go up north and all around in Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Leicester, all them sort of places. Hull, all that, doing the coal and, you know, and also doing big steel works and all them sorts of things, yeah. And anyway, he was good at what he was doing on the cranes, taking big boilers, putting the boilers in and taking that out and taking this out and then putting the cranes on low loaders and shooting off. But whilst they was up there doing them sort of things, they noticed that they were getting big money. Well, not big money, but there's enough of them, 200, 300, 400 people working in the company. They was all getting wages, yeah? And they just watched the wagons pull up and jump out the wagons with big bags of money. And then Mick was telling me that it was too easy for them not to take it, yeah? And Jimmy Moody's with them. And this one time that they went there to do it and the van shut. They shut the back door on the van so no one could get in it, yeah? Jimmy Moddy got some cutting gear from this works. They all had guns, they was watching people, got and cut it in the van. And they nicked all the wages out of the van, a lot of money in there, you know. And they was doing it regular, doing vans regular, and earning lots and lots and lots of money. And they all got nicked, except Jimmy Moddy. There was a grass on the firm, yeah, big grass. My father-in-law was telling me, but up that way, it has been on the news about what it's like up there, the police up there, you know, up north, you know, crazy police officers were absolutely nuts. And they used to put plastic bags over their head to make them own up to the crime. Because, I mean, the father-in-law and all that little firm were so staunch, you know, and they put plastic bags over your head to make you confess to the crime. So no one did. And they used to knock them spark out because there's no oxygen and just knock them out. He said a couple of them come near to death, you know. They had to get oxygen masks in them and bring them back and all that because that's what they had there anyway while they was doing all that, you know, oxygen masks and oxygen tank just in case that happened. It did happen quite a few times where they'd go over the top of it, you know. And my father-in-law just said that no one really said nothing because there was a supergrass. It happened, you know. Jimmy Moddy had gone. There was big words about Jimmy Moddy, but listen, my father said Jimmy Moddy was as staunch as they come, but he'd gone, yeah. And then Jimmy Moddy got shot in the head. And when I come out of prison, the old man came out and he was talking to me about the bits of work, what he did. He was telling me about they was going to do a big post office, yeah, massive great post office. It doesn't only have its own security come in there. It has big other security vans come in with money. I said, how was you do that, Mick? He said, well, look. He said, I had these massive lorries. He said, you know. He said we was going to put world girders on them, and come straight through the wall of the building. You know, crash, come through the building. I went, you're joking? He went, yeah. He said, and we plotted and schemed up to do this big post office. He said, but it come on top for all the other ones we've done, and we all got nicked. He said, but this one would have come to millions, Ray. Would have come to a fortune. And the old Bill did get the lorry. They got the lorry with the girders on it, all welded up and everything. You know, they had two big girders on this lorry, but not. The girders were on the front of the lorry, the girders were on the back of the lorry, so they reversed it and they were going to reverse in at a real high speed. And they're definitely going to go for the wall. He said, there's no trouble about that going for the wall. It smashed it to pieces. But I think they were the first ones that was going to do it. Whether or not they did it on other places, I don't know, because Mick never said nothing about that. Or he just said he was going to do it, it never happened. But he said, what got nicked for? He told me, you know, it wasn't no big thing. But I thought, what a fantastic idea. This is funny. So I'm over Battersea, yeah, and I'm with Jimmy Ward now. This is long after, you know, I'm with Jimmy Ward. I'm talking to Jimmy Ward, and we go down, I think it was Clapham High Street, anyway, we went down the High Street, and I walked into this post office with him, you know, why he'd done some building society things and bits and pieces, yeah. I'm there, And Christ, mate, come on, I'm an robber, you know what I mean? And I thought to myself, I looked around and I had a vault, massive vault in there, big doors. It's the post office, and it was open. The only reason it was open is because Security Express, not the bank, not the post office, the Security Express was coming in with big bags of money. It's unusual, isn't it, to a post office, but they were coming in. Yeah, they're coming in and putting it into the vault. And I thought, wow, but look at that. It must have been about 10 bags being put in the big bags. And they didn't shut the vault. I thought, wow, my God. And they're just serving people with the vault doors open. And the vault doors was right by the back wall. And I thought to myself, wow, the old man. The thing he told me, the old man, about putting girders on a lorry and coming through the back wall. And the back wall was right by the vault. And I thought, mate, if you come through that back wall with the lorry with girders on it, you're definitely 101% going to take it, because they ain't going to get in the vault. Because by the time you get hit with the lorry, the bricks will be everywhere and you'll be in. You know what I mean? I said, what a good idea. You know, I never got round to even attempted to do it. Yeah, but what I mean, I thought it was brilliant. You know what I mean? I thought my father-in-law was such a good robber, mate. He was just so good. And Mickey, I mean, Jimmy Ward, I mean, I know Jimmy Ward come and put a big contract out to me to kill me. I think the old man was involved in it, yeah. But he did tell me, Jimmy Ward, that my father-in-law was one of the best armed robbers going. He said him and that Jimmy Moddy together, they were mustard. He said they was earning absolute fortunes. And it was, because my father-in-law had about 4 big houses, you know, massive big places. And the flat I got, or the house I got off of Jimmy Ward, was involved with Mickey Johnson, my father-in-law, and a few other people. The monies, they bought about 10 properties, I think, and big properties up by the private roads up there, yeah. I think, what's the name? I forget the name of it now. Tudor Road. It's big roads up on the hill, Kingston Hill, yeah. Where there's big private roads up there, yeah. Well, he had a big place up there as well. But my father-in-law was fantastic robber, mate. And when you talked to him about him and Jimmy Moddy, and he was telling me, mate, he said to me, see him? He said, Jimmy Moody's one of the hardest geezers I've ever met, mate. He said no one would dare go against him. He said Bindon and him had loggerheads, really little words here and there. He said, because everybody thought that Bindon was one of the bosses of West London, without shadow of doubt at that time. Yeah, Bindon was dangerous, you know what I mean? He could have a fight and he could use a tool. Whereas Jimmy Moddy could have a fight and have a right fight, and he would use a tool too, you know what I mean? So him and Bindon and Jimmy Moddy always had loggerheads as such, yeah? But I think Bindon was a lot younger than Jimmy Moddy, but, you know, Bindon was, he's a bit lively, Bindon, mate. He's a bit lively. Bindon never done no gangsterism, no villainy, only when he played the part of a villain, like Kit Carter. Was it Kit Carter? He played a part, but he never done no armed robberies and all that gangsterism shit, none of that. But there's quite a few that I can remember that got the equity that wasn't into that. I mean, you had Jimmy Tibbet, the old man. He wasn't a gangster as such, you know. He was just a hard, powerful, dangerous man with his fist, yeah. You had, can't say the Haywoods, because they were gangsters as such, armed robbers and bits and pieces, yeah. But you had Terry Coombs, no, he wasn't involved in that, another one who got the equity. Terry Sharp, another one who had the equity. There was, I think, Johnny Old, them two brothers, the twins, they never done no gangsterism, they had equity. Even Brian Cox. Do you know what? Quite I'm surprised about Brian Cox. I mean, I knew Brian Cox when he was quite a slim sort of guy, yeah. He'd had a car accident, he had a bad leg. He stood by for me, Brian Cox, the actor, the director. He does quite a few bits now. I've been told he's doing a film now as about being a gangster, and you know, like a bit. I'm trying to get hold of him, you know, Brian Cox, because he's in my book a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to put him in my book a little bit more because he done a lot for me. Brian Cox. He stood bail for me on a serious charge. He come around my mum's house a few times for dinner. He liked my sister. My sister had horses. He was, you know, he's a nice guy, really nice guy, fantastic personality, very close to Jimmy Tibbet. And I'm surprised that he's not really mentioned more about Jimmy Tibbet than a lot of people have. And being that he does he plays certain roles of a gangster and a villain, I'm surprised he hasn't got hold of people like like even Eddie Richardson and them sort of people, you know, who have been in prison and find out what it's like, you know what I mean? And don't forget, he was wrapped around people like Frank Fraser and all them sort of people as a friend. Terry Coombs, very friendly with Terry Coombs, very friendly with Terry Sharp, very friendly with Eddie Richardson, you know, and well, Jimmy Tibbet was his best pal. They was like brothers. They was always together. And I met Brian Cox with Jimmy Tibbet, you know, and he loved me, Brian Cox, and he gave me a name, and he also done a record called For Cats for my boxing, you know, and he gave me a name that I can't really say too much about it, but he gave me a name for fighting, and he's just a nice guy. But when he gets someone that comes up to prison, comes up to Brixton, and stands bail for you and meets you at the gate, that's what you call a nice guy. That's a nice guy. And that's what Brian all done, mate. You know, not Brian all, sorry, Brian Cox. I'm really surprised that Brian Cox ain't try to get in touch with me, because I do so much on YouTube. Someone must have said something. He's in my book. I want to talk to him. You know, I want to just, you know, I'd love him to sign a couple of books for me, so I can take pictures of them and all that. You know what I mean? And give him a book, because today's Wednesday. I hope it is, because today's Wednesday, and I done my book. I started at about 1:30, finished about 4:30. We done 14,000 words last week. We done nearly 14,000 words this week, because I didn't want to go into another part of the book and a bit more of it, but he might have mucked it up. So I this went to 13,000. So we done 27. We done what? 27. We done 27,000 words of this book now. So we've got to do another 14,000 next week. It goes on until we finish it, which is about 95, 96,000, even 97. It'd be nice if we can make it up to 100,000, but obviously, so just wait and see what goes on. But there's loads of stories in there, mate. I mean, today, when the ghostwriter was talking about the book, and you know, and the way he's read it, it was fantastic, mate. And you just sit there. Don't forget, it's my book, so I must know. You know, but because you do it, you're talking to him. You don't take a lot of notice, do you? But when he starts reading it and he's put it all together in content, I went, wow, that's fantastic. Do you know what I mean? He's put it so good, and he's put it in a way that it actually sounds like me. You know, and I'm so excited, and I really am. I mean, the audit, is it the audit or something? The audit book, I don't know what they call it, the audit or whatever they want to do. I love to do it, you know. I love to do the you know, we talk and all that in it, and about my crimes and all that. But I don't think I'm that good. I'll be honest, because I've got to read it. And I'm not very good at reading them. Might be good at talking, but I'm not that good at reading. I'm a little bit dyslexic when it comes to that. I mean, for me to read a book, it'd take me. Well, do you know what? What made me laugh here? I know I keep going off about other things, but when I was in my YP in Owlsbury, yeah, and I used to hate going down the block, because you had Stone, used to always pinch you inside the arms, pinch you inside your legs, and he was a no no good man. Sorry, Bishop, Mr. Bishop. That's the one who used to pinch the arms through the legs. He was a big geezer, size 14 feet. He was one horrible person. Stone, the one with the moustache, right regimental. He used to be the one in charge of the food, in charge of getting your bed out, in charge of the library. And after a couple of few days in the block, you get to go to the library, you know, and pick a book up so you can take it into your cell and read it, because there's no televisions in the block, or nothing in the block as such, only a table and a chair and a bed when it comes in at 8 o'clock at night. Not a bed, a mattress, yeah? So anyway, so you want to get a nice book so you can get, well, because I'm dyslexic, in a way, it didn't really harm me, this, because what I used to do was tear pages out of the book. So as you're getting into the book, it tear pages out of the book, and so you know, people go mad, especially people who could read and all that and get into it. Because I couldn't read and get into the book, it didn't matter to me, because I didn't know, you know what I mean? I was reading, that was a bit funny, but I thought it was funny because I'm dyslexic, so it didn't really matter to me, you know what I mean? But all the other people were going mad, shouting, yeah, you done this, you done that. But anyway, it didn't happen. But I was just really talking about my father-in-law and with Jimmy Moddy, and when they done all their robberies down up north in the cold places, and you know, and all round Hull and all that, the steel works and all them sort of places. My father-in-law was one game arm robber, and the time he told me about wanting to go through the wall with a lorry with a girder, and I think they've made a few films like that, and they would have done that sort of thing. More likely got it from my father-in-law, don't know. Maybe they found the lorry, maybe my father-in-law's already done that. I think my father-in-law would have done bits of work like that, but you know, would have gone through the walls and all that. It's about, I can imagine my father-in-law's done quite a few, because he was so game and so rich. You know, he was such a rich man, a nice guy, but dangerous. As I said, he tried to shoot me 3 or 4 times and stabbed me up, so I know what a dangerous man he was. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, this is just a little video, but this is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe. Take care, nice one. And don't forget, I'm going on TikTok, yeah? Going to try, have a go at it, see what it's like. I see it yesterday, a couple of my mates done a live. Funny old thing, TikTok, mate. But I'm just going on there. Someone told me you get gifts, and the gifts are usually money. Listen, I ain't going on TikTok, do what they do. I just want to go there, give people little stories, and get a few bob out of it, because I think it's worth it, you know what I mean? Because I've now been on here, nearly 2 years on YouTube. Don't get much money really on YouTube, and I give some good stories out. People keep telling me to go live on YouTube. I will do that shortly as well. You know, I'd like to have a go at that. And, you know, I mean, it's nice to be able to talk to people, get paid for it, yeah? Listen, I'm not a ponce. I mean, in 2 years I ain't asked a penny, but it's nice to get a little bit of money here and there, yeah? Because when you come out of prison, and I'm an IPP, I don't know gangsters, I don't do no villainy, just keep myself really, really straight. All I do is train, and that's me. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe, and have a nice evening, yeah? Bye.